Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. We've been in this situation before, and February 10th, the last time when we've been in this situation, and prior to that, last year, when the Ukrainians claim, I think the Ukrainians want to draw NATO in a hot war with Russia, and they make all kind of claims that, if you remember, Poland was attacked by Russian missiles during one attack on Ukraine, and it was proven that, or at least Poland and the investigators, including Mr. Biden, who investigated himself, said that the missiles were not launched by Russia, but instead were launched by Ukraine and landed, if you remember, in Poland and killed two people in a village. Then Ukraine said, hey, it was the Russians, NATO, Article 5, you have to intervene. NATO said, well, we're not in a mood of fighting Russia, and actually it was you. That was the first time when I think the Ukrainians wanted to draw, in a very weasel way, NATO into hot war with Russia. The second time it was in February 10th, 2023, when again the Russians launched a missile attack on Ukraine, and the Ukrainians immediately claimed that the Russian missile, a Kalibr Russian missile, landed, or at least entered NATO Romanian space, and then the Romanians, NATO, scrambled some fighter jets. This is what the Ukrainians claim. The Romanians, after about an hour after the Ukrainians claimed that, said no, it was not true. They didn't cross into our territory. It was the territory of Moldova, not Romania. So again, it seems to me like the Ukrainians tried to get you, NATO, into a little fight with Russia. Now, what kind of friends are those when you have to watch your back each and every time, because he's going to get you in hot war with someone that you don't want to get in a hot war. So these were the two examples where the Ukrainians were caught lying, or the NATO did not want to acknowledge that in order to live in denial, so they don't have to react. Now, what happened last night? Well, what happened last night was actually this morning, the 4th of September 2023, Monday, the Russians conducted an attack, massive attack, drone and missile attack on Ukraine, and some drones attacked the Danube River, Ukrainian port of Izmail, and I will show you where that is actually right now. So right here in the south by the Black Sea, and here is the Danube River. Izmail is right here. So they attacked this little port here, the Russians, and the Ukrainians claim again that Russian drones hit Romanian territory. Remember the two examples I gave you, Poland and then again Romania? Now there's another one, and they have about articles and articles over the New Voice of Ukraine, Ukrainska Pravda, saying, even the Telegraph picked that NATO territory of Romania was attacked, according to the Ukrainians, by Russian drones. So what are you going to do, Romania? You're part of NATO, you were attacked, you have to what? Now let me show you those articles, starting with this one. And you have to look at the time when these were published. So, the New Voice of Ukraine, Russian drones strike Odessa Oblast infrastructure during overnight assault on Ukraine. So this was when it was reported, the big assault, they hit Odessa, Zaporozhia, Odessa Oblast, Zaporozhia Oblast, Kherson, Kharkiv, Donetsk, and Dnipropetrovsk. And that's all. That's what they hit. Now, the drones were focused on Odessa and on the grain facilities and port infrastructure. I made a video prior to this one. So this is the first one. The second one is this, Ukrainska Pravda. It is from 11:02 today, a.m. So 11:02 a.m., Monday the 4th of September, Russian Shahid crash and explode, Shahids, plural, okay, so it's not only one, crash and explode in Romania, and they show a picture, all right? Now, I don't know if that's, United States of America, or it's France, or it is, they say this is an explosion in Romania. Where are you? Right here. Explosion in Romania. Could be, I don't know. Oleg, and if it is, and Romania reacts like denying. What are we going to do again about it? And guess what? Romania denies it. Sorry for breaking the news for you. So he has this Ukrainian guy, Oleg Nikolenko, spokesperson for the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of Ukraine, has said that Shahid kamikaze drones that Russia launched to attack the port of Izmail, this one right here, okay, crashed and exploded in Romania. And he says, quote, as the State Border Guard Service of Ukraine reported tonight, 4th of September, during a large-scale Russian attack at the port of Izmail, Russian Shahid drones, plural, fell and detonated in Romania. And he says, he called on the allies to speed up the provision of additional modern missile and air defense systems, as well as combat aircraft to Ukraine, which will ensure the protection of the infrastructure of Ukraine and the neighboring countries. So they help Romanians. Okay, this was at 11. It was at 11:02. We got another one at 7:41 a.m. The New Voice of Ukraine. So different one. It's the same one, the same source, but it's two different outlets. Ukrainska Pravda and New Voice of Ukraine in Ukrin form are all owned by... No, this is the title. Ukraine's border agency says kamikaze drones hit Romania during Russian attack. Bucharest shrugs off reports. Again, the same picture, and it says, this guy said they boo. So this is what happened. Informed through certain communication channels, Ukrainian border guards informed their Romanian colleagues that they had recorded 2 detonations in certain areas of the territory of Romania during the Russian attack. So they informed them, all right? He said that border guards, and I'm quoting, we have not yet received a response from the Romanian side. They call the Americans and asking, why should we say? Well, you deny it. Next one. Telegraph 3 hours ago. Ukraine-Russia war. Russian drones hit NATO territory, Ukraine says. And the same thing. Now we got here. The first thing from Ukrinform. No direct military threat. This is, what time it is? It's 2:26. Their time. Ukraine time. So I don't know if those ones were American time or not. Nevertheless, no direct military threat. Romania comments on Russian drones explosion on own soil, but they don't do that. And I'm quoting what they say, the Romanians. The drone attacks conducted by Russian Federation, they don't say Romania, did not pose any direct military threats against our national territory or Romania's territorial waters. The statement reads, so they don't say, hey, the Russian drones explosion on our soil. They didn't say that at all. They just said, those attacks of the Russians will not pose anything on our territory or territorial waters. That means they didn't even touch us. All right, so let's go to the next one where things become clearer. Ukrainska Pravda, it is 11:55. So if you go to Ukrainska Pravda there and we go to Ukrainska Pravda here, so it was 11:02. Russian Shahid drones, Shahid crash and explode in Romania. This is the 11:02 by Ukrainska Pravda, and we go to Ukrainska Pravda at 11:55. So again, the Romanians took about 40-some minutes, as they did when the Ukrainians claimed that Kalibr missile crossed into that territory, about 40 minutes. The Romanians came out so fast and said Romania denies that Russian Shahid drones exploded on its territory. Opa, what are we doing here? And let's see what these guys say. The Romanian Ministry of Defense has categorically denied Ukraine's account, which asserts that Russian attack drones crashed and exploded on Romanian territory during nighttime attack on 4th September. And this is right here, the Romanian Ministry of Defense. This is the statement. The relevant structures of the Ministry of National Defense monitored the situation in real time, observing Russian drones attack conducted last night against the infrastructure of Reni seaport. So it's not only, according to these guys, it's not only Izmail right here, but it's also Reni, which is right here. You got Galați here and you got Tulcea here, big Romanian cities. So, in the Reni seaport, the drone attacks conducted by the Russian Federation did not pose any direct military threats to our national territory or Romania's territorial waters. Again, denying it. And let's go to the next one, which is from Russia Today. It says 4th of September, 11:59. These guys are fast. Like these guys were with what, 11:02. They came back with 11:55, and these guys came with 11:59. NATO member contradicts Ukraine drone claim. The Romanian Defense Ministry said no Russian UAVs have crashed on its territory, contrary to official statements by Kiev. And these guys claim that Russian drones that were used over the weekend to strike targets in Ukraine did not pose any military threat to Romanian's territory, the country Minister of Defense announced on Monday. During a massive attack by Russia in the area of Ismail port, Russian Shahids fell and detonated on the territory of Romania tonight. Nikolenko. This is what this guy said, Ukrainians wrote, citing sources within Ukrainian border guard. So Nikolenko provided an unverified picture purported to depict the event and said that the alleged incident proved that Russian missile terror threatens not only Ukraine but also neighboring NATO member states. And the Romanian Defense Ministry, however, said that it firmly denies the information circulating in public space with regards to a so-called situation that occurred during the night of 3 to 4 September when Russian drones would have fallen on Romanian national territory. It says, while the ministry said it condemned the attack on Ukraine, it stressed that, and I'm quoting, at no time did the means of attack employed by the Russian Federation pose a direct military threat to our national territory or Romania's territorial waters. So, this guy said the Russian Ministry of Defense reported that its forces did this, that, and blah, blah, blah. The objective and strikes were achieved. All designated targets have been hit, the ministry said. And they did in south region of Dnipropetrovsk, Kiev-controlled port of Kherson region, tra-la-la. So, let's go back to what we do best, and that is me. So, we do that. So, what is it? If the Russians hit Romanian territory and Romania said that means they don't want to get involved. They got the order from the Americans, stand down. There's no other way. If it was not an incident where the Russian drones landed in Romania accidentally or maybe, I don't know, purposely, and these guys reported, that means NATO did not bother to embarrass the Ukrainians publicly, saying, no, that's not true, it didn't happen. So either way, Ukraine has to understand that NATO is not ready to engage Russia in a hot war, but they try. So imagine you have a guy in your gang, right, your club, your friendship, whatever, connections, and that guy wants to get you to fight another guy, the big guy, in another gang or club, right? What would you do to this guy? You will tell him, shut the hell up, don't try to get us in a fight, and you're gonna smack him because you don't want to get smacked by that guy. I mean, let's say Russian, American, NATO, war or hot war, there will be no survivors, I think. No winners. Going to be only no winners. Going to be only losers. And the Ukrainians, it seems like they don't care. But I understand them. They are at war with Russia, following those guys' orders. So yeah, either way, either NATO doesn't want to engage, or they could have said yes, it was a Russian attack, but we take this opportunity to warn you that warning was what? They don't want to draw a red line because the red line will be crossed again, and if that occurred, and then are you going to do what? So I think they just blocked the Ukrainian attempts to draw NATO into war from the get-go, from the very beginning. No, nothing happened here. And the Ukrainians, the third time, get caught as, if you believe the NATO and the free world, lying. Poland, remember when they claimed it was the Russians hitting the Poland territory? It was the Ukraine. The Caliber cruise missiles that I showed you at the beginning of this video, Romanians, hey, what are you gonna do? The Caliber crossing your territory. Romania said, no, it didn't. Second one, it's a lie, right? If you say something, claim something, and based on evidence, right? You don't just, I think it crossed into. You have to make sure. So second line, this is the third one. If we are believing NATO, or you believe Ukraine, but the first one, there's no doubt about it, unless NATO guys and Poland fudged the investigation, which said, yeah, or then Romania is a second. Maybe, the fact is, we don't want to engage, we don't want to even talk about it. But Ukrainians, keep trying. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just. So Romanians, you dodged the bullet to fight the Russians again. Congratulations.